Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review after a hard day at work, even though I was working from home, so it's not too bad. And I'm back with my box from Cloudwater, beer with big ideas, collaboration of juicy IPAs, and I have a confession to make. So, I have found out after doing some research that Cloudwater is not Scottish. I knew that they weren't, but these beers are all supposedly brewed in Ellen in Balmacassie, which is where Brewdog is. So these beers are all brewed at Brewdog. Oh my god! So yeah, Cloudwater are contract brewing with Brewdog. Weird, eh? And this one is in collaboration with Rock Leopard. And I quite like this. Purple is my favourite colour, but I don't know if you can see there's little hops, purple hops in the shadows and stuff. And it's got Cloudwater, obviously. Rock Leopard, aye, laddie. And this one, it's called One Way or Another. IPA, a collaboration brew with Rock Leopard, using our favourite base malt and yeast, and featuring a hop called Mosaic. So once again, they're assuming that people buying this box are not beer people. Mosaic is another very, very popular hop. It says, and features a hop. So they're not telling you what's in this totally, but yeah, fair dues. And as I have done before, I'm going to revert to the box because it's easier to read. So this is the dude here, Stacey Ayer, inspired by our love of the Cochon Noble Cat and music, Rock Leopard Brewing. It's on a mission to prove the privilege as a platform which could and should be used for good. Our beers are solid interpretations of hop-forward beers, blah, 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 anti-intolerance. Well, that's fair dues. Same as yesterday, Rock Leopard. So these are all collaborations with a social conscience, which is really cool. And this one is a mosaic, or a mosaic focused beer, as the one yesterday was supposedly a Citra beer, but yeah, I'm sure there were other things. I didn't taste. It tasted a little bit like Citra, but there was more things in there, definitely. Okay, let's get in there. Let's put this down a little bit because I don't want to see the top of me noggin, do you? Right, so we're in. We have a freshly cleaned glass that I did earlier on, and let us get this one in here. So these are all apparently juicy beers. This one seems a touch less juicy than perhaps some of the others were. And no floaters. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Rock Leopard. Rock out with your Rock Leopard out. Oh my God. I don't know if you can see, but every day my hair, like, I've got this little dauber of hair that sticks out the side. Purple Rock Leopard. Which is really cool. Like purple. I like cats as well. You might see my little cats walking about. Now that is literally glowing. Let's be kind and call that half a finger's head. Nice white, quite tight, fluffy bubbles. We have got a juicy looking beer. However, if you look right at the bottom, you can definitely, well, maybe not in the camera lens, but in my I spy with my eye, I can definitely see a lot easier through this bad boy than the one yesterday. Ooh. Yeah, we're getting juicy tropical. A little bit similar to the first one we had, although there was hardly any alcohol in there. And apparently it was Talus hops. This one, very, very similar aroma. And again, this is a 6% beer. So I would say quite reasonable. Some IPAs, especially if you are American, you're probably 7, possibly 8% beers, and you're thinking, yeah, that's pretty standard. Over here in the UK, I'm not sure exactly where it is. I think it's the tax. It's all to do with tax. And the higher the alcohol, the different tax levels. And I'm not sure where the higher one changes. Is it a 5? 5? It might even be at 6%. So you find quite a lot of beers holding around the sort of just under 6% or 6%. And then other ones that don't really care are really high and they're a bit more expensive. And then there's another level, another cap, should we say, down at 3.8%, which is a bit bizarre. So there's loads of beers that are all, they say 3.8, but I really, for tax purposes, they're probably just under. So they pay, yeah, a lower rate of business tax. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Anyway, I hope your week is going well so far. Let's dive in. Pinkies out, guys. Whoa. Wow, my God, had a hiccup there, which would probably say that it's quite well carved. Wow, that was a bit surprising. I don't usually hiccup. We're getting lovely white, yeah, kind of lychee or white grape or that kind of thing. It's a really nice tropical kind of flavors there. And although when I was taking my sip, I was like, this is reasonably well hopped, i.e. bitterness wise. It isn't really. I'm getting a lovely smooth finish now. I would say this one is slightly less juicy than the one yesterday because I'm getting a much longer finish, and I'm not getting that kind of quenching thing that goes on, where yeah, it kind of washes your palate clean. You've heard me saying that before, right? But this one has quite a bit of residual sweetness in as well, which is kind of interesting. Let me see if I can take a second mouthful without a ridiculously loud hiccup. If it does, then I don't know if I'm going to be able to drink the full glass on camera. I'm not sure why that is. There's something, sometimes things in foods and drinks affect all of us slightly differently. And hiccups aren't good. Belchers, not too bad, but hiccups, don't like them. That's lovely. It has a lovely silky smooth finish. And it goes on and it's lingering between lychee, between grape, maybe a tiny bit of pineapple, melon, mango, that type of thing going on. But the light fruits, maybe kiwi as well. So these are all Australasian or Antipodean or oceanic type flavors going on. These are definitely from the taste from our friends down under. Whether they're grown there or not, that's another thing altogether. But those kind of tropically type fruits, but lots mixed together. And this time it's kind of, I know what they say when they say juicy. I know what they mean, but this is not a quenching juiciness. This is a juiciness because there's lots of fruit tastes, lots of fruit flavors, and they're all slightly different as well, which is really nice and different, totally different to the beer that I had yesterday. And less IBUs, I would say. So less bitter, higher level of sweetness. I can almost taste like a bit of stickiness, a bit of residual sugars on my lips afterwards. So yeah, different kind of beer altogether. I'd say this one is more in the kind of new school NEPA kind of style. Although you do get some of the older school NEPAs that really are quite hop forward at the beginning. They are quite bitter. But the new school is, wow, I knew a belch was going to be coming at some point. Yeah, the new school trend on point, on trend, you know how it is more that kind of silkiness, a little bit more residual sweetness, less bitterness. And how a lot of breweries, I should say, do that is they don't boil the hops for as long. So back in the days when I started brewing, all the recipes called for at least an hour boil. So you're boiling your initial hops in the beer in suspension in the liquid for an hour. These days, it's all to do with hop oils. I was talking about that yesterday. I'm trying to get the hop oils from the hops into solution. These days, people are producing hop products where the oils are already kind of more accessible, so you don't need to boil it for so long. So a lot of breweries are only boiling for half an hour. And the other thing about why do I need to boil is because there are some negative things in the hops that you need to boil off. So that's why we're boiling it in the first place. And why are we using hops, you might say? I'm turning into a lecturer, sorry about that. Why do we need to use hops in beer at all? Essentially, it's like a preservative. It's a very traditional antimicrobial, kind of antiseptic type thing. Basically, it's a preservative. So hops, yeah, because back in the old days we didn't use hops in ales, but we started using hops because people found out that the beer with hops in kept for a much longer time, and it killed off all the kind of bacteria and nasty stuff. So that's where you get the weird kind of thing that, oh yeah, people in the medieval period, they drink lots of beer instead of drinking water because that whole kind of brewing kind of thing, and essentially from the hops, yeah, got rid of some of the bad sort of bacteria, stroke viral stuff from the water. Whether that's true or not, don't know. Probably lies somewhere in between. And don't forget, the beer they were drinking was like 1% or 0.5% anyway. So that was more like the beer I had on Sunday. Oh, it's weird. Like I said to you previously, the further down the glass you go, things do change. Now I'm getting a little bit more kind of zestiness, a bit more kind of bitterness from, well, I guess it's from the hops, obviously, but kind of a more pith like. So instead of having like a pineapple or a grape or whatever, I'm getting more grape skin or getting zest or pith from that kind of fruit taste. I don't think things get more concentrated. What happens, especially when you talk about oils of any type, but in this case it's hop oils. So we're talking alpha acids, beta acids, things like thiols as well, which is the new thing in beer. Thiols, they're a massive thing going forward. They're going to be ridiculous. You're going to hear all about thiols, not just from me, but you know, that is the way forward with beer. So over the next couple of years, that'll be what people are talking about. Where was I? Yes. So all of these kind of things in solution in the beer, when you drink, they bind to your taste receptors, causing them to fire and speak to your brain and all that kind of stuff. But once a receptor is full, it won't fire again. So the second time you taste something slightly different. And also it depends how many receptors you've got. Everyone's slightly different. Everyone's sense of taste is different. All of that kind of jazz. But that's essentially why things seem to change as you drink. The liquid itself isn't changing. Don't panic. Unless you've left something for months and months, which I have actually done with this with this box. It's slightly out of date. However, the actual liquid hasn't separated out, so there's no need to worry really. But it's the way the liquid interacts with your own senses. And that sounds absolutely bizarre because you're like, oh, I know what things taste like. They always taste the same to me and blah, 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 blah. With really hoppy type beers or strong flavors, strong taste, they do change over time. So, yeah, just be aware of that. I'm not trying to lecture you at all. Although I am back in education these days. My new job is back in education. So unfortunately, that's why I've been keeping an eye on the timer. You'll find that because of the job I'm doing now, I talk more, and I think about things and try and explain things because that's what I'm doing every day for my job. So I apologise, but you're going to find that some of these beer reviews are going to get slightly longer than they used to be. I try and aim around 10 minutes, but yeah, these days it's going to be a lot longer. 15, where are we now? 18 at the moment, Jesus Christ. Cheers and beers, guys. Oh, this is a really good example of a new style beer. I like that one. A mosaic as well. Got that creaminess. It's almost like uh, almost like a nuttiness. There is, I believe, and my memory is absolutely terrible, and that's not because I'm drinking. It probably is. There is a mosaic crossed with another hop, and it gets a very pronounced coconut flavour. And you can kind of pull that out a little bit from mosaic, but it's not there as much. You get a tiny little bit of nuttiness, but not like a real heavy nut. It's more a creamy nut, like coconut, like almond, that kind of nutty kind of finish. So yeah, in this experimental hop, which Jesus, I can't remember exactly what the name is. It was part of a hop program, so it had one of those code numbers for ages instead of an actual name. But I do believe it has a name now, and it has a very distinct coconutty type flavour. Really interesting. Hops are really interesting. Anyway, guys, this has been Unclejona. Thank you for putting up with me if you've listened so long into this video. And if you have, why not think about subscribing or, you know, at least clicking down below that you like this video. It does help me out quite a lot. So please think about doing that to please the YouTube elder gods, like I've started to say. Anyway, guys, please enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever it is you're doing, and try and squeeze a few beers in if you can. Um, I'm really looking forward to the green hop beers that are going to come out over the next month or so, especially if you live in the UK and especially if you live in Kent, which is where the traditional hops used to come from. There's not as many hop fields around as there used to be, which in my opinion is a real shame. And farmers should think about hops as a nice crop to grow. Anyway, won't keep you any longer. This has been Uncle Jonah. Remember to drink some beer, and we'll see you real soon, probably tomorrow, for another beer review. Shame on.